Hey YouTube, welcome back to Cassandra's Kitchen, where I eat to live and not live to eat. Today I'm going to be making a margarita pizza. So if you're interested in seeing how I make this delicious pizza, stay tuned and I'll show you. Alright guys, so we're going to do a margarita pizza that's simple and easy. Y'all know I love pizzas, so this is one that I wanted to put on my channel. So what we're going to need to start off is some dough. So I've made my own dough. This dough recipe is on my Mexican pizza that's on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description. It's on there as well. If you have your dough already made, that's fine too. You can use, I use that on some of my other pizzas, the already made doughs. Whatever you decide, just have a dough. So, but I made my dough. That's been resting pretty much for a couple of hours. I made that earlier. For my sauce, I'm using the Rayo's homemade tomato basil. This is like a spaghetti sauce, I would say. They do have it in the pizza sauce, but I love their tomato basil sauce. I'm gonna use that for my base. I'm gonna be using some Follow Your Heart mozzarella cheese, just a little bit of that. But also, you know, when they make the margarita pizzas, they use the mozzarella chunks. So I also got the organic cashew milk mozzarella. It's by Miyoko's. I love this stuff. It's so good. It is expensive, guys. This little, how many ounces is this? I don't have my glasses on. 8 ounces. So the 8 ounces is probably gonna cost you probably $8 or $9. You can get it from Sprouts, Whole Foods, maybe from Kroger as well. I think I got this one from Kroger, yes. So, but this is the mozzarella, the chunks. So I like to put the whole mozzarella pieces on my pizza when I'm making the margarita pizza. And you're gonna need some Romano tomatoes or just regular tomatoes, whichever, but I'm gonna use the Romano tomatoes because they're smaller circles. And so, and we have some basil. So I have some organic basil that I got in the little packages. You can get it also in the plant at most of your farmers markets or your Sprouts grocery store. But I do have the basil. I got this from Walmart, and it's just in the little package. It's fresh, organic. So that's what we're gonna need to build our pizza. And again, it's simple and easy. If you like a good margarita pizza with the crust, this is what we're gonna start off with. I'm gonna start to roll out my crust, my dough, and then we'll start to build it. So again, if you're gonna use this recipe for my dough, I do have this in my Mexican style pizza that's out there. I'll put the link in the description for this video. Or if you already have a dough, or if you make your own dough, whatever, just have your pizza dough ready. I'm gonna go ahead and roll this out. Once I roll this out and get it on my pan, I'll come back and we'll just start building our pizza and get it in the oven. All right, so I've rolled out my pizza dough. So I have it rolled out. You see I have a bunch of the Italian seasonings in my pizza dough because I love the Italian seasoning. So what I'm gonna do, I'm using the Rayo's again, spaghetti sauce. They do have this in a pizza sauce, which is also good, but I love the tomato basil. I use this on pizza as well as my spaghetti or any type of pasta that I'm using with a red sauce. I'll go towards the Rayo's brand. So what I'm gonna do is just sprinkle a little bit of this here, and my dough already has 2 tablespoons of olive oil in it, so I didn't brush any olive oil on my dough because it already has the olive oil in the dough. So usually I would just rub a little olive oil on there on a dough that I'm using that maybe did not have that. But because that's already in my dough, I didn't worry about putting that on my dough. So what I'm gonna do is just do the bottom with my sauce. And depending on your liking, some people like heavy sauce, some people like light sauce. I'm kind of in the middle. I like it saucy, but I don't like it just running with sauce off of it either. So I think I'm a middle saucy person. So I got my bottom really nicely covered here. Now, because I am using the Miyoko's mozzarella, the whole mozzarella, so I can slice it and put little pieces on there, because you know in your margarita pizza, a lot of times you have those nice round pieces of the mozzarella. But I'm also gonna put just a little bit on the bottom here, okay? of my Follow Your Heart. And again, this is vegan cheese. Both of them are vegan cheese. The Miyoko's is actually made with cashews, and so it's really good. I like both of them actually, but the Miyoko's is really got a really good taste, and they're both, like I said, they're both vegan. So I had a comment on one of my pizzas that the pizza was great, but the cheese was blowing the whole vegan thing. I'm like, well, I only use vegan cheese. I use the Follow Your Heart. Follow Your Heart has a feta cheese. I use that as well, and I use the Diablock. So maybe they just wasn't familiar with the actual cheese brands that I use, but the cheeses that I did use, they were vegan. And so I have my basil here. Oh my gosh, y'all, this basil smells so good. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do is cut up my tomatoes, because I want to get my tomatoes on here. I have 4 Romano tomatoes. I may not need them all. We'll see how many I use. I just wanted to make sure I had more than enough than not enough, right? So go ahead and place my tomatoes. And they're not super thin, but they're not super thick. And I would say if they were, you don't really want your tomatoes to be super runny either. So these are pretty firm. Some nice firm tomatoes here, because you know tomatoes, they hold a lot of liquid, and we don't want that to make our pizza soggy. So that's why I would recommend not going too thick on the actual pizza, on the slices of your tomato, just so that it's not gonna make your pizza soggy. So let's see. I may only need 2 of these. We will see. I think so. I may not need the other one. Just gonna cut the rest of this one up. Y'all probably can't see me because of my seasonings there in the way. Okay, I make this one a little too thick. I'm gonna thin that one out just a little bit. Okay, yes. So just 2 tomatoes is all that we needed. So now we're gonna do our mozzarella. And let me get this moved over so I can have a clean spot. And I'm not gonna cut my mozzarella too thick either. I just want some nice thin pieces of mozzarella we're gonna put in there. Those chunks of mozzarella is actually what makes your margarita pizza to me. And so I'm just gonna get those on here. Dab, 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 because this melts really good too. So, like I said, we just used a little bit of cheese on the bottom just to kind of coat, to stick to the actual bottom with the sauce. We're gonna get this mozzarella right in here. You can go as heavy or as light as you want on your mozzarella. So I like cheese, and this is going to help to hold that basil in place as well. Okay, maybe one more piece here. We're going to go, we might as well go big, right? Go big or stay home, that's what they say. Okay, that's what they say here in Texas anyway. Okay. Maybe there, and we're gonna put one more little slice here. Okay, there. So I think that's good for the cheese. I might as well just find a home for you. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is just put our basil on there. I'm just gonna chop this down just slightly because there are some big pieces of basil here. Oh gosh, this basil smells so good. Your classic margarita pizza. We want basil in every bite, so we're not going to be stingy or slack on the basil because we want that in every bite. I'm telling y'all, if you never tried cilantro on your pizza, you just got a pizza and you eating pizza, put you some cilantro on there. I'm trying to tell you, it is so delicious. You would not be disappointed. Okay, so I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of garlic on here. And I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of the Italian seasoning that I have here on top. Now, if you want a little bit of heat, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of the crushed red peppers. Not required, but I like a little heat on my pizza. And there you have it. So we're going to get this in the oven for probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I got my oven set, I think, to 400. Yes, so I got my oven set to 400. So this dough, like I said, we got to make sure our dough cooks. So I'm going to get this in here. You want to watch your basil. You don't want your basil to burn. So mine is kind of moist and wet. And it's on top of the cheese, so it shouldn't burn. Because if you put like spinach or kale on top of your pizza and it's just dry, it will tend to just get crispy and, you know, burn or not be good. So you definitely, on top of the tomatoes, we shouldn't have that problem because our tomatoes are going to also liquefy and bring forth some moisture along with our cheese and our sauce. So we should be fine with our basil on here, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it. If for some reason if you notice yours is getting too hot and it's crispying up and getting too dried out, have a little mist bottle with water in it and just mist it a little bit on top, not a lot, just a little mist, and let it go ahead and cook. It hydrates your green leaves. So, okay, well, this is going to the oven. Once it's done, we'll come back out and we'll see what this classic margarita pizza looks like. All right, guys, so the pizza is done and out of the oven. Let me get another one of these because I am gonna burn my hand if I don't. But look at this. This is our margarita pizza. It looks so good. I want to give you a little close-up. Hopefully you guys can see this, how that cheese had just baked in there and the tomatoes. My crust is the crust that I make because I flatten it so it becomes a little crispy and crunchy. I love that about this crust. It gives you that crispy crust. That's one of the reasons why I love making this particular dough. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this open. And this cooked in the oven for about 25 minutes. And it was ready, right? And so guys, I love a good crispy crust. And like I said, you can make your own crust the way you like to make it. This is crispy, but not dry. It tastes so good. And so we just want to go ahead. Look at this. See how the crunch came off? And the flavor of everything that's in there, it tastes so good. I'm trying to cut this. Actually, you know, this isn't that hot anymore. I'm having a hard time cutting this. I'm gonna set it on there and cut it, take it off my little trivet here. And I'm gonna finish cutting it. So I took it out of the oven a few moments ago. Okay. And I actually balled up some of the crust around the top of it just to give it that extra crisp, but the inside is really thin. Okay, there you got it. The margarita pizza. So, I'm excited because y'all, I'm ready to eat this, and that's why I'm over here just like mouth drooling. But of course, Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Can I have your assistance, please?
Yes, you may.
Come on over here, sir.
All right. On this margarita pizza. Okay.
I know you are meaty. You like texture. You like meat.
Yes, I
you
do.
like the meat substitutes. You like all that.
Okay, yeah.
And
This is what we got, baby.
you know, I'm the veggie person. I like to eat it like simple and easy. But ooh, that little spots on there is good. So I want you to try a piece. I've cleaned this off, so if you want to put it on there or not, I don't know. Let me wipe it because it's got a little bit of water. You might not need it. But that's crispy and crunchy, but I think the bottom of it is just
We
really...
ready to check it out.
Well, you check it out. It's not too hot. I'll let it cool for a second. It's that margarita pizza. Ain't got no meat on it.
No meat on it, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not disappointed. I mean,
Not?
no, I'm really not.
Because if I mention anything about a margarita pizza, anything that's got 2 or 3 ingredients, He's looking at me like, really? Like, that's for dinner. I'm serious. That's what he does to me.
This right here, I'm gonna be honest with you. Be really honest with you. You will not be disappointed. My goodness, let me take another bite of this.
Tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
And the crust is good.
Mm.
That's my crust. It took me a moment to come up with this crust recipe, but it's perfect because I'm a thin crust girl. I like the bread too, but I'm more of a thin crust girl. I always like my crust just a little thin and crispy. And this right here, this recipe for this crust is delicious. So I'm gonna definitely put it in the description from my last video where I actually put the crust. I made the crust for you guys on camera, and I just didn't want to repeat that again because I've already done it. So
yes, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The crust is absolutely amazing. I mean the flavor, the texture. I mean it's good, y'all. I'm telling y'all, y'all will not be disappointed on this pizza. Meat lovers and all, this is really, really good.
yay!
I'm telling y'all. So
All
great
right.
job once again, babe.
Thank you. All right, so you guys heard it from him.
Yes,
this is
really
my
good.
Margarita Pizza.
Really good.
All vegan, all good,
Yes,
all
really
delicious. So if you like it, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. And of course,
Subscribe. Share. Subscribe. Okay.
What are they going to do?
We're going to subscribe.
Subscribe. Okay. Subscribe to Cassandra's
Yes.
Kitchen, and of course, share the video.
Share the video,
If you
y'all.
have, if you try it and you like it, definitely share it. But again, from Cassandra's Kitchen to yours, we love you guys. Be blessed until next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Peace out, y'all.